Good morning, students. Welcome to Literature Learning. Today we would be concluding our part 6 of the line by line explanation of the lesson The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare. A quick recap of what we learned so far. Bassanio being furnished by the required money to travel to Belmont by his best friend Antonio through a risky loan on a personal bond had won over Portia and married her. But Antonio could not return the loan on the due date and he had been imprisoned in Venice. Now, Bassanio returned to Venice with 20 times more the loan amount furnished by Portia to acquit Antonio. But Shylock, the Jew moneylender, did not want the money but wanted the penalty as written in the loan agreement, as he was bent upon to take revenge on Antonio. Now, Portia, the wise and clever wife of Bassanio, being called forth into action by the trouble of her husband's friend, resolved to go herself to Venice and speak in Antonio's defense, guided and advised by Bellario, a relative who was a counselor in the law. Portia, disguised as Balthazar, by her clever sagacity, won over the case in favor of Antonio, and the Duke finally released Antonio and acquitted him of the serious penalties. So, children, we read the story of Antonio's acquittal and we too rejoiced, didn't we? So, come on, let's begin our learning and understanding of the lesson from page 64 onwards and enjoy the amazing story. So we begin from this page 64. Portia could not be prevailed upon to accept the money. So in lieu of her services to Antonio and Bassanio, Portia, disguised as Balthazar, was asked or persuaded by Bassanio to accept some money. But upon Bassanio still pressing her to accept of some reward, she said, "Give me your gloves." So Bassanio went on pleading that you must take something from us because you have acquitted Antonio and saved all of us. So give me your gloves, she said. I will wear them for your sake. So give me your gloves and I'm going to wear them. Then Bassanio, taking off his gloves, she espied the ring which she had given him upon his finger. While he was taking off the glove, Portia she caught sight of, espied means she caught sight of the ring which she had given Bassanio as the engagement, during her engagement. Now, it was the ring the willy lady wanted to get from him. So what happened? The clever lady, the willy lady means clever lady, wanted to get the ring from him as to make a merry jest, to make a prank, or to make a poking into him by saying, joking or making a prank or telling him that, look what you have done. When she saw her Bassanio again, that made her ask him for his gloves. So she asked him for the gloves, and she said, when she saw the ring, and for your love, and also because you said that you love us, I will take this ring from you. So she took the ring. She said she wants the ring from Bassanio. Bassanio was sadly distressed that the counselor should ask him for the only thing he could not part with. So Bassanio got very deeply, greatly distressed, annoyed that the counselor is asking for the only thing that he cannot part, cannot separate from, or cannot give away. And he replied in great uncertainty or confusion that he could not give him that ring. And he said that it is because it was his wife's gift. So his wife had gifted him the ring, and he had vowed never to part with it. And what did he do? He took an oath that he's never going to part with it, but that he would give him the most valuable ring in Venice. And then he said that he is going to give him the most valuable ring that he could find it out by proclamation, that is by an official order. He'll find out which ring is the biggest and the best and the costliest one in Venice. That he'll present Balthazar. On this, Portia affected to be affronted and left the court, saying, "You teach me, sir, how a beggar should be answered." So Portia affected to be affronted. Portia affected or pretended to be annoyed and getting angry, insulted, feeling insulted, and left the court, saying, "You teach me, sir. You're teaching me or telling me how a beggar should be answered. You're showing me as if annoying me, as if I'm a beggar and coming asking you for all these things." So Portia got showed that she pretended to be annoyed. "Dear Bassanio," said Antonio, "let him the ring." "So give him the ring," said Antonio. "Let my love and the great service he has done for me be valued against your wife's displeasure." So what did Antonio say? Antonio told Bassanio, his friend, that let the value of his service and your love, my love to you, both this be valued against your wife's displeasure, against the annoyance or of your wife. So Bassanio, ashamed to appear so ungrateful, yielded. So what happened? Bassanio appeared to be very ashamed of what was happening, that he was ungrateful. His ungratefulness, he thought people will think he is very ungrateful, so he gave in. He gave in, or he accepted. He said, "Okay, fine, I am going to give you the ring," and sent Gratiano after Portia with the ring. So she had gone away, so he sent Gratiano with the ring behind Portia. And then the clerk Nerissa. So when Gratiano reached there, the clerk Nerissa, who had also given Gratiano a ring, she begged his ring. So Nerissa, as a clerk also, she wanted Gratiano's ring also. And Gratiano, not choosing to be outdone in generosity by his lord, gave it to her. So Gratiano was always a copycat of his lord or master, Bassanio. He readily gave away his ring. And there was laughing among these ladies. So when these ladies got the rings, they laughed to think when they got home how they could tax their husbands. So why did they laugh? They laughed because they were thinking of when they reach home, they'll give a nice dose to their husbands for giving away their rings and swear that they had given them as present to some woman. So they will take oaths and they'll pretend that they are swearing and cursing the husbands for giving their rings to some women and not to returning it to them, rather giving it away to some different woman. Now Portia, when she returned, was in the happy temper of mind which never fails to attend the consciousness of having performed a good action. So what happened? Portia was in a happy mood. Now she never failed to attend the consciousness of having performed a good action. So in her mind, she was feeling that feeling of happiness that she had done something good. Her cheerful spirits enjoyed everything she saw. So she was seeing whatever she saw in front of her, it all looked very new and very refreshing. So she looked up and saw the moon because she reached Belmont by late evening. The moon never seemed to shine so bright before. So for Portia, it was a bright, moony day, or night. So it was a night that was that had the moon very brightly up in the sky. And when that pleasant moon was hid behind a cloud, then a light which she saw from her house at Belmont as well pleased her charmed fancy, and she said to Nerissa, "That light we see is burning in my hall." So when the moon hid among the clouds, then she saw a light coming from her house, and then she told Nerissa that light seems to be burning in the main hall. How far that little candle throws its beam. So look, the candle is throwing its beam. So shines a good deed in a naughty world. Children, I want you to underline this sentence. So shines a good deed in a naughty world. A very, very famous quote of Shakespeare. So shines a good deed in a naughty world. Just like a good deed is just like a shiny candle or a bright moon up in the sky. And hearing the sound of music from her house, she said, methinks that music sounds much sweeter than by day. So she said that listening to the music from her house, she said, methinks, meaning I think that music sounds much sweeter by right now than by day. So rather than the day, it sounds better now. You can see Bassanio pleased in what has happened. So he had given away the ring. This was the wedding ring he had given away, and the lady is happy. So Portia, disguised as Balthazar, is happy that she has received the ring. Now we move on to the next paragraph. And now Portia and Nerissa entered the house and dressing themselves in their own apparel. So they changed their dresses. They awaited the arrival of their husbands, and they had reached first. Now they are waiting for their husbands to reach home, who soon followed them with Antonio, who also had returned. Both the husbands had returned with their friend Antonio. And Bassanio presented his dear friend to the lady Portia. And as usual, with all courtesy, Bassanio presented to Lady Portia his best friend. The congratulations and welcoming of that lady were hardly over. So while the congratulations and welcoming, meanwhile, all the pleasantries were going on in between them, what happened? She heard something. So while this was going on, and it was hardly over when they perceived, that is, they saw Nerissa and her husband quarreling in a corner of the room. So there was a quarrel had broken out between Nerissa and her husband. A quarrel already? Said Portia. What is the matter? Gratiano replied, Lady, it is about a paltry gift ring that Nerissa gave me. So Gratiano answered, Lady, my lady, dear lady, so it's only a small gift, a paltry, a meager gift, that gift of a ring that Nerissa had given me. And there were words inscribed upon it, like the poetry on a cutler's knife, like on a cutlery set. It's written like a poetry, love me and leave me not. So she had inscribed this on the ring. And she's asking me where the ring is. What does the poetry or the value of the ring signify? Said Nerissa. So Nerissa, being angry, said, what is the importance or significance of a ring to you? Then we move on to, you can see the beautiful Portia, all dressed and now in a normal self. And Gratiano here is answering the questions of Nerissa. Angry they are. And you can see here the men and women, both of them, the husband and wife, Portia, and here Nerissa and Gratiano, both of them are here. So we move on to there. So you swore to me when I gave it to you that you would keep it until the hour of death. And now you say you gave it to the lawyer's clerk. So Gratiano had told Nerissa that he had given it to the lawyer's clerk who demanded it. I know you gave it to a woman. So Nerissa went on insisting, no, you gave it to a woman. You didn't give it to any clerk. You gave it to a woman, I know. By this hand, replied Gratiano, I gave it to a youth, a kind of boy, a little scrubbed boy. So he said that, no, I take my oath. I'm just telling you, I confess and I tell you, I promise that I have not given it to anybody else rather than a scrubbed youth. Now, scrubbed is a slang word, not an English formal word, but a slang, which means a kind of a boy, a type of a boy. Rather, it was not a normal fellow. So, kind of a stupid fellow, a guy who looked like a boy, no higher than yourself, and he was not bigger than or taller than you. He was clerk to the young counselor, and he was a clerk to the counselor that by his wife's pleading saved Antonio. And because they had saved Antonio's life, and when he asked me, I gave away. This prating boy begged it for free. and I could not for my life deny him. So this prating means talkative, or the boy went on asking, demanding, or asking me for the ring. He went on talking and talking and asking for the begged for the ring. So I could not tell him. So no, I said no. How could I say no to him when he had saved Antonio's life? So Portia said, "You were to blame, Graciano, to part with your life's first gift." So Portia joined with Nerissa to scold Graciano and said, "You are supposed to be blamed because you gave away your life's first gift. I gave my lord." And then she goes on to give an example of Bassanio. And she says, "I gave my lord Bassanio a ring. I too gave Bassanio a ring. And I'm sure he would not part with it for all the world." So Portia now tells Graciano, "Look, I have also given Bassanio a ring, and I'm sure that Bassanio is keeping the ring with him and not given it off to anybody." Graciano, in excuse for his fault, now said. So Graciano now felt that it was an excuse and said, "My lord Bassanio gave his ring away to the..." So he, in order to save himself and his skin, he said, "My lord also Bassanio, he gave away his ring to the counselor. And then the boy, his clerk, that took some pains in writing, he begged my ring. So when my lord, my master Bassanio, he gave his ring to the counselor as a present. Then the boy, his clerk, asked me for the ring. So I couldn't deny him because he took some pains. He was writing notes, and so I couldn't deny him the ring." So this is what he said, and we can see the ring. So they gave away the ring. Now we move on to the next paragraph. Portia, hearing this, seemed very angry and reproached Bassanio for giving away the ring. Now Portia was waiting for this moment to scold Bassanio and give him a prank. And she said Nerissa had taught her what to believe. She said, okay, I know what Nerissa has just taught me. I cannot believe you people. You must have..." And that she knew some woman had the ring. So Portia said, "No, I know. Nerissa said that they have given away to Graciano also has given away to some woman. So Bassanio must have done the same thing. He must have given it to some woman. I know it's not the clerk, neither the counselor, but some woman." Bassanio was very unhappy to have so offended his dear lady. Now Bassanio felt very, very annoyed, very, very awkward to have been annoying his lady love. And he said with great earnestness or sincerity, he said, "No, by my honor, by my prestige, I tell you, no woman had it. I didn't give it to any woman, but a civil doctor. I gave it to a lawyer who refused 3,000 ducats of me. He did not take 3,000 ducats from me and begged the ring and only asked me the ring, which when I denied him, which at first when I told him, 'No, I'm not giving,' he went displeased away. And he was angry with me, he was not happy with me, and he went away. What could I do, sweet Portia?" So this was the trouble for us. So tell me, Portia, what can we do? So what can we do? "Pardon me, good Portia, good lady, had you been there, I think you would have begged the ring of me to give the worthy doctor." So she's told Portia, he told Portia that, "Look, I know if you were there at that time, if you would have been there in court, you would have asked me to give away the ring, because she's the counselor is asking, you would have asked me, 'Come on, Bassanio, you give away the ring, and that you won't feel bad.'" "Ah," said Antonio, "I am the unhappy cause of these quarrels." So Antonio took it on himself and said, "Oh my God, these two couples are fighting, and the reason and the root cause of it is me. I am the reason," Antonio is telling his friends. So let's move on to now you can see Portia angry with Bassanio. She's reproaching him for rebuking him for taking away, and Antonio sighing that I am the reason for coming in between you people. So Portia bid Antonio not to grieve at that, So Portia immediately told Antonio, please, please don't grieve, don't become sad for that. For that he was welcome, notwithstanding. And then Antonio said, so whatever happens, he is all welcome. So Portia said that please don't feel bad because you are still welcome here. Whatever they did is theirs, but you are always welcome. I once did lend my body for Bassanio's sake, said Antonio. So Antonio said, I once had given my body for Bassanio, my friend. But for him to whom your husband gave the ring, I should have now been dead. But your husband gave the ring to the person who saved me from being dead. I dare be bound again. And I think I should have been bound, imprisoned again, my soul upon the forfeit, and I must be bound by so many penalties. Your Lord will never more break his faith with you, and your husband will now never again, your master will never again break his faith, break his promise with you. Then you shall be his surety, said Portia. So Portia immediately took this and said that now you will be his guarantor. You are going to be his guarantor. You are going to be taking responsibility for that. Give him this ring. Now she took the ring that she had on her ring and gave it to Antonio and said, give him this ring and bid him keep it better than the other. So Portia gave Antonio the ring that she was wearing, that was Bassanio's, and told Antonio that give this ring to your friend and tell him that not to, next time, keep it properly and not to give it away to anyone. When Bassanio looked at this ring, he was strangely surprised to find it was the same he gave away. And then Portia told him how she was the young counselor and Nerissa was a clerk. So till then, but Bassanio was all confused. He said, oh my God, this looks like the very ring that I gave away to the counselor. Then Portia revealed all the truth. And then she said how she became a young counselor and Nerissa was a clerk. And Bassanio found to his unspeakable wonder and delight that it was by the noble courage and wisdom of his wife that Antonio's life was saved. So Bassanio was very happy that Antonio's life was saved because of his beautiful and wise Portia. Here you can see the beautiful lady Portia. So because of her, his best friend was. So both the couples are now happy. You can see smiling. Gratiano and Nerissa, Portia and Bassanio both happy. So here we see here that here the caricature of Portia. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider. So boys were more stupider in the story. And what is Portia's strength? She is beautiful, wealthy, and brains to match an heiress. And what is her weakness? A woman. But she doesn't let this stop her. Even though she was a woman, she went, dressed herself like a man and went to argue or rescue Antonio. So now we come on to the last paragraph of this, last couple of paragraphs. When Bassanio looked at this ring, he was strangely surprised to find it was the same he gave away. We have done this. We come to the last paragraph. Then Portia again welcomed Antonio and gave him letters which by some chance had fallen into her hands. So Portia now gave Antonio the letters that she got from some place, which is not mentioned here, which contained an account of Antonio's ships. So this letter was about Antonio's ships, that they were supposed lost, and these ships were supposed to be lost, but now being safely arrived in the harbor, has now reached Venice, the harbor of Venice. So these tragical beginnings of this rich merchant story were all forgotten in the unexpected good fortune which ensued. So all the tragical, sad beginnings of this rich merchant story, who is the rich merchant? Antonio, were all forgotten, were all people forgot this. And in the unexpected good fortune which ensued. So in the unexpected, so Antonio did not expect his ships to arrive safely. Now which ensued means which later happened or which came into being. And there was leisure to laugh at the comical adventure of the rings. So there was enough time for them to enjoy and laugh and talk about the story of the rings and the husbands that did not know their own wives. And they talked about the husbands that they could not recognize. Their wives were smarter and they could not recognize their own wives. Gratiano merrily swearing. Gratiano was swearing, confessing, and taking oaths in a sort of rhyming speech. And Gratiano concludes the story. While he lived, he'd fear no other thing. So while he lives, he still lives, he has got no fear, so sore, and no fear he has. What is the only fear he has? The only fear he has is of keeping safe Neresa's ring. So the only fear in this world that Gratiano says he has, so he sings like a rhyming song, he sings and says, is the fear of saving Neresa's ring. And here you see the couple here, Bassanio and Portia. And we see here Antonio very happy now, he's smiling. And here Portia, you are Portia, if nothing else, you are a free spirit. So you live in a world of rules and boundaries, but you find your own brand of freedom with quick wit and sharp intelligence. Now, how does quick wit and sharp intelligence come? When you read a lot of literature, when you read a lot of books, when you read from the big store of knowledge that is lying for you to read from the classics of Shakespeare, because he teaches all kinds of life values. So now we have Shakespeare's quotes here from The Merchant of Venice. If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottage, princess's palace. This is from Act 2. Merchant of Venice, Act 2. This quote is from, who's saying this? This is Portia talking about if everybody knew what to do, what is right and what is wrong. Now we come on to the next one. Here we have all that glisters is not gold, meaning everything that glitters is never gold. So this is again a quote from The Merchant of Venice, which became famous. It is a wise father that knows his own child. Again from Merchant of Venice. These are quotes. So shines a good deed in a naughty world. Just now we concluded this. When did Portia say this? When she saw the moon up above, and when all the good, after completing the good deed, she returns to Belmont. She's talking to Nerissa about this. Then we have the next quote, the quality of mercy that Portia as a counselor is telling. You go through this. This is very, very nice. The quality of the quality of mercy. It is like a blessing. It is like the raindrops. You go through this. Beautiful words. Then you have here, the man that hath no music in himself, nor is not moved with concord of sweet sounds, is fit for treason, stratagems, and spoils. I hope you remember the story from where this quote was quoted. Do you remember Jeeves? So yes, this line was quoted in Jeeves. Jeeves is telling his master this quote from Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. Then we come on to the last. How far that little candle throws his beam, so shines a good deed in a weary world. Shakespeare is telling us to be always, always, always good. Always to remain good and do good in this world, because the world is still bad. But if you do good things, the good returns to you. It bounces back to you. So we come on to and I hope you have enjoyed all's well that ends well. And you have come to the beautiful story, and I hope you enjoyed. And I say bye to you. Thank you.